Hey everyone, welcome to Poisonous People. In this video, we're going to be looking at the question, is it possible to be half narcissist? This is a question that was inspired by comments that I have seen left on other YouTube videos over the years. Somebody will say, I think I'm half narcissist, or they'll say, I think I'm half narcissist, half empath. The answer is no. It's not possible to be half narcissist. And I'm going to give you two ways of thinking about this. Number one, this is a diagnosable, billable mental health condition. So you either have this condition or you don't. You cannot be diagnosed with half diabetes. You can't be a half epileptic. You can't even be half pregnant. When we're talking about diagnosable conditions, we don't want to conceptualize them in terms of fractions. So let's take the example of a pizza. When you say I'm half narcissist, you're looking at this diagnosis as if it were possible to divide it up into fractions. So with a pizza, we can divide that pizza and we can say, well, this pizza is half pepperoni and half cheese. But when it comes to diagnosable conditions, we don't conceptualize it that way. It's either yes or no. So instead of saying this pizza is half pepperoni, half cheese, the question we're really looking at is this thing a pizza or not? Now, once somebody does have a diagnosis, we can conceptualize it in terms of the degree of severity. So I'm sure you've heard of something like mild, moderate, or severe depression, mild, moderate, or severe plaque psoriasis, mild, moderate, or severe whatever. And we can look at narcissism that way as well. We don't necessarily make those distinctions. We just give the person the diagnosis. Once somebody's formally diagnosed, they also don't look at their diagnosis in terms of fractions. They don't say, well, I'm 5/9 narcissist or I'm 7/9 narcissist. All we know is you need 5 or more, and that makes you a person with NPD. If you have 4, you're not a person with NPD. If you have 3 or 2 or just 1, like myself, you're not a person with NPD. So what do we call somebody like that? Well, I don't walk around saying I'm 1/9 narcissist. I just tell people I'm arrogant, right? I just tell people this is my character flaw. Like, this is the one thing that I know I have to work on, and I leave it at that. Now, we want to clear this up because there are a few reasons why this type of belief that it's possible to be a half narcissist could be detrimental to your mental health. So the first thing is cognitive dissonance. And my guess is that anybody who has made this statement and said, I think I'm half narcissist, I'm going to guess that this is somebody who's already battling cognitive dissonance. They notice some character flaws, they notice some traits, and they're thinking, this kind of seems like a narcissist, or this seems like NPD. But on the other hand, they also recognize qualities in themselves that are not typical of a narcissist or a person with NPD. And so they get confused. Which one am I? Am I a narcissist, or am I an empath or a codependent person? And because they can't make sense of that, the mind tries to take both of these and mash them together. And that's where you get this concept of half narcissist. I'm going to suggest that it's healthier for you to pick a side. Either you are or you aren't, because when you repeatedly tell yourself you're half narcissist, you are reinforcing the cognitive dissonance. Cognitive dissonance is basically your mind's desire to solve an issue, to resolve an issue. And when you say you're half narcissist, you haven't resolved it either way. You're just telling your mind, yes, sometimes I am narcissistic and sometimes I'm not. There's really no resolution there, and it could perpetually keep you in cognitive dissonance. The second reason that this could be detrimental to your mental health is depending on what you believe about narcissists and narcissism. If you believe that a narcissist can't change, and then you tell yourself, I'm half narcissist, you might then condition yourself to believe that there's nothing you can do about those narcissistic traits. And you might give up before you even start fighting and just say to yourself, well, I guess this is it. I guess I'm stuck that way. So a belief like this could potentially keep you from working on yourself. And it doesn't necessarily mean that you need therapy. It just means that you would want to work on being a better person. When you lump your ordinary character flaws into a label like half narcissist, in a way you could be subliminally telling yourself, there's nothing I can do about this. And that's just not true either. Now, the third reason why this could potentially be hazardous to your mental health is inspired by a very specific kind of comment. And that is a comment I saw very, very recently. I saw somebody leave a comment on a video and they said, I'm half narcissist, half human. Not only is this dehumanizing to an entire group of people that have a diagnosable mental health condition, narcissists, it's dehumanizing to narcissists. But let's put the narcissist aside for a second, because you're not a narcissist. If you're somebody who said, I'm half narcissist, half human, we're not talking about narcissists. We're talking about you. And if you're telling yourself you're half narcissist, then on some level you have agreed with the idea that you're not fully narcissist. So what are you also saying to yourself that you're not actually saying? You're saying the same thing about the other side. If you're saying I'm half human, then you're also telling your subconscious mind, I'm not fully human either. So yes, you're dehumanizing people who are narcissists, but you're also dehumanizing yourself. You don't want to be sending this kind of message to your subconscious. The subconscious mind is very sensitive to language, and anything we say, it can pick up on, and it actually processes that literally. And so you really don't know what kind of setbacks you're creating for yourself psychologically. And this goes back to what I was saying before, that you might just assume there's nothing I can do. I'm half human. I can't develop other human characteristics. This is just who I am. Again, I want to stress, I know you don't believe that cognitively. You don't believe that intellectually, but these could be viewed as subliminal messages that you're speaking to yourself. We don't want to give our subconscious mind those messages. But this now brings me to my final point, and that is, if you've noticed you have some narcissistic qualities and you've noticed that you have some not so narcissistic qualities, what I would say that makes you is fully human. You are a human being. Human beings are flawed. They have good qualities, they have bad qualities, and that's what makes us human. When we look at our bad qualities and right away try to diagnose those qualities, we try to find a label to put on those qualities. We try to categorize those negative or immature qualities and explain them away by some mental illness. What we're actually doing is we are pathologizing our humanity. And that is also something that we don't want to be doing. That's also something that can be very detrimental to your mental health. We don't ever want to pathologize our humanity, because that sends all kinds of messages to us. It makes us believe that there's something wrong with us simply because we're imperfect, we make mistakes, we're not so nice to be around sometimes, and it doesn't mean that you have a mental illness. At some point, we're going to have to accept our humanity for what it is instead of trying to pathologize every little flaw, failure, and foible. This is what makes us unique. So it's far better to pick a side and be comfortable with that. And the reason you haven't done that is because you're not comfortable yet with your answer. And that's okay. There's no reason to have the answer right now. But I'm willing to guess that if you've already decided that you're half narcissist, then you've already decided that you don't meet the criteria, and that makes you not a narcissist at all. I hope this has been helpful. I'm Jen Guerriero, and this is Poisonous People. Thanks for watching.